My wife stuffs the last article of clothing into her travel bag, zipping it closed as she moves it from the bed to the floor. Her father had fell ill, and she decided to travel back home to spend Christmas with him. I never get much time off around the holidays, so the extended weekend I had for Christmas would be spent alone this year. My wife felt bad for abandoning me, but I insisted that she spend this precious time with her father. The idea of having the house to myself for a week wasn't all that bad either. She rolled her suitcase to the door, and I gave her a kiss goodbye. She told me how much she'd miss me. We embraced, silent in anticipation of the longest amount of time we'd ever been apart since we got married. I accompany her as she rolls her suitcase outside, loads it into the car, and pulls off. I watch her car go around the bend at the end of the road and disappear behind the trees. I secured the door behind me as I returned back inside, the feeling of solitude setting in. I paused for a moment, basking in the quiet atmosphere, with only the subtle hum of the refrigerator to pollute my pristine environment. Just as my energy levels began to mellow, I began to worry about my wife. I quickly looked to distract my mind, picking up the TV remote and turning on a show that I now had time to catch up on. It wasn't too long after that I dozed off, and when I woke up, it was already dark outside. I squinted as I opened my eyes, hearing the characters in my series yelling in the conflict. I got up and made a quick snack, noting that the garbage was reaching capacity. After I finished eating, I took the bag out and opened the front door. My heart skipped a beat as I nearly tripped over a package that was sitting on the porch. It was a large poster board-sized box, about half a foot thick. I sat the bag outside around the door, and I pushed the box inside. It wasn't insanely heavy, definitely had a bit of weight to it, but the main challenge was making turns to get it inside. I grabbed a kitchen knife and cut the binding tape that it was shipped in. The box was in good shape, not a ding or scratch on it. I pulled the last side of cardboard off, revealing an oversized Christmas calendar. It had compartments in the calendar, one for each day until Christmas. A note was affixed to the top. It read, "Sorry I'm gone, but maybe this will help you remember me. No cheating, only one a day. XOXO, signed, Wifey." She's so thoughtful, I said to myself. I'm usually not a gift type of person, but I already feel the boredom of my holidays, so I pulled out the first drawer. The compartment was filled with chocolate truffles. My eyes lit up as I scooped out the treats, unwrapping a chocolate and popping it into my mouth. Amidst all of the excitement, I'd completely forgotten about my shift at work. I only had a few hours until I had to start getting ready. I piled up the cardboard and went to bed. The next morning was uneventful, just another normal day at the office. All throughout the day, I was thinking about the calendar. I got a text from my wife sometime in the morning that just said, "Did you get it?" When I clocked out and made it to my truck, I replied. We conversated for a few minutes before I drove home. When I walked in the door, I immediately went to the calendar. I opened the small drawer. At first I thought it was empty, but as the interior was illuminated in the light, I saw a small bundle of hair. My wife and I had a great relationship, and we were very close, but it was definitely a strange feeling for her to give me some of her hair. As I pinched the bundle and picked it up, I could smell her for a brief second, a familiar scent that I'd grown so accustomed to for so long. Just a couple days without it now felt like an eternity. The next few days were all routine. going to work, coming back, and every gift from the calendar had just contained more candies. On the 5th day, I got home from work, made some food, and took a shower. Admittedly, I'd gotten a bit bored of the calendar. I pulled the next box out, anticipating more chocolates to add to my ever-increasing stockpile. But instead, I see a neatly folded shirt. I unfolded the top and instantly realized that this was the exact shirt my wife had been wearing when she left for her trip. How could she have mailed this ahead of time? And what did I need her shirt for? My mind raced for answers, not understanding the meaning for the gift. Hair? Now her shirt? I'm not expecting luxury here, but this was truly bizarre. I called my wife's phone without answer. She texted me back shortly, explaining that she was busy with her family. I asked how she mailed the same shirt she'd been wearing and had it arrive on the same day, but she quickly changed the subject. I got a bit angry. This wasn't like her to completely ignore my concerns. I had a strange feeling that something was off. I went back to the Christmas calendar and decided to open the rest of the drawers. The 6th box was just another batch of chocolates. I quickly closed it back shut, then reached for the 7th and final compartment. I pulled gently on the drawer, but it gets caught by something. I hear the rustling of plastic behind it. I jiggle the box, tugging and pulling all the while. It comes loose and the contents spill on the floor. I scream as I lock eyes with a severed foot inside of a plastic bag. I begin backing up, nearly falling backwards onto the sofa. I couldn't look away from it. I was frozen with fear. Inside of the plastic, I could make out my wife's tattoo. I pleaded, distraught and mortified. My tears blinded my sight. My head spun in a boiling rage superseded by an overwhelming sense of fear. I wiped my eyes, but then I realized, who had my wife's phone?